Hi, everyone, and welcome to an album recap for Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By, brought to you in full by me, Holden Stephan Roy, over here on Behind That Suit. So, I'll explain what's going on here. I released 3 very long videos totaling over 4 hours of content breaking down this Eminem project, Music to Be Murdered By, in full, giving thoughts and opinions on all the songs. And I got a very insightful comment, kind of, reminding me that at the end of the day, for all the work going into the lengthy review, which I encourage you to check out if you want to see that deep dive breakdown, is most people may not necessarily want to watch a 4-hour video album review. So fair. I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna try this out, and I'm gonna be a little more concise. I'm gonna give you my top level opinions on the album, just general thoughts, if I enjoyed it or not. Then, if you're interested in the deep dives, you can check out over on Behind That Suit Reviews the full breakdown, and then we can move forward like this year, so I can give y'all, a little more tangible bite of what's going on. Anyway, we're here to talk about Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By. This album basically turned me into a stan when I first heard it. I've now listened to the project basically every day since it's come out at least once in full. I've digested these songs, I have net promoted these songs, and I believe this is the 3rd finest Eminem project that I have consumed in my life. In my opinion, the Eminem Show is number 1, Marshall Mathers LP is number 2, and this is going through these deep reviews, going through a lot of albums, and having done that, I really believe this is his 3rd best body of work. First of all, it's a concept album of sorts. It starts off kind of looking at his career. He's looking back a little bit over the first couple of tracks, which when they kick in, it's just, like, premonition's phenomenal. It's like this mature response to all the criticisms that have been levied against him, even by folk like myself, in terms of his legacy and what he chooses to rap about. But the way he does it just shows adaptability over this intensely pumping beat. The lady who sings the intro is dope. Having Alfred Hitchcock's sample right on the intro is just fantastic, because the album is the title, Music to Be Murdered By, is taken from an Alfred Hitchcock album of the same name, which took his TV samples and his dark humor, which gets sampled throughout the project and truly adds great effect. Once we've gone through the first track, the use of the Young M.A. feature on the second track, which took me a lot of listens to get used to, but then it just kind of stuck with me as something fantastic, over this very modern sounding, kind of vibey beat, and then Eminem comes in and rips it, and I think just the use of Young M.A., such a modern sound, and just killing it so well with his complex flows and just kind of bouncy rhythms. Like, Eminem does everything on this song. It's truly enjoyable, and it just kind of shows that in light of a response to the previous track, which was maturely responding to the media criticisms, he kind of jumps in more aggressively, being like, I'm unaccommodating to what you want from me. Basically, fuck you, I'm back. Then we move in to You Gon' Learn, which features Royce da 5'9". And I believe this is a political move in response to the criticisms against him for not having Royce on the last couple of projects. Guys like Joe Biden and them have said that he doesn't necessarily look like a good label mate. So bringing in Royce like that, having these guys kill this track, which really just takes this nice tone, like the way Eminem just kind of starts his verse with the have-nots and have-nots bars and whatnot. Like, I'm not going to go too deep in that in this video, but it was such a great thing. 3 tracks into this album, and I'm just dumbfounded at how unique and different each song feels while flowing perfectly. And then we get this Alfred interlude, which is produced by Dr. Dre, kind of giving this cool mood setting feel as we transition to one of the main story arcs of the album. So basically, as we go through those kind of nights with Ed Sheeran, it's a fun, bouncy party song, and we kind of go into a bit of the main theme of addiction and such in this album. And in the beginning, it's all a good time and it's all super fun, and I think that's the main point conveyed. And as much as anyone wants to say it, I think it's great that Eminem, in spite of, maybe putting Royce on the album in a positive response to criticism, chose to put Ed Sheeran here as a clear, fuck you to everyone who made fun of the Ed Sheeran feature on the last album. So on this project, which is absolutely a masterpiece, he brings Ed Sheeran back. Ed Sheeran kills the feature. This song, if you don't get it the first time, if it doesn't grow on you, give it a few plays. To me, it's just fire. Then we move into Deep, which looks at, the relationship with drugs, like an affair, and this crazy, awesome double entendre, full of great bars, full of great just wordplay, great hook, and the I'm not, like happy here kind of feel. It's just amazing. It's like a really honest take on it, and being able to put it into the metaphor of a relationship cheating, which kind of sounds like he also lived that shit out in the entirety, was just amazing. And then moving into Godzilla, which has Juice World, which is just like, wow, what a way to take a modern rapper and just kill it and just do something amazing. Obviously he breaks the speed record, y'all heard that stuff, but what's really incredible about it is just the little Easter eggs in Godzilla that show that going Godzilla, the consuming of all the product, I guess the alcohol and whatever, to push yourself to that limit, your brain racing to the point where you're literally breaking records with speeds. I feel like all of this is a metaphor to be like a counterpiece to what comes next with Darkness, and it's meant to kind of put an emotional state, almost like the manic side of everything, the extremely big high, because there's like stuff like the Casino Dealer line and stuff that just indicate, or even just the machine gun speed of it all. It's almost like Eminem is metaphorically through his verse representing the carnage of what's about to come in the next track. Then we get Darkness and emotions for days. I feel like tears come to my eyes. We all know what this is about at this point. It's the Las Vegas, I believe, country concert shooting, biggest one in US history, and the way Eminem just kind of personifies it all, but correlates the track into what it would be like for him during his addiction days to hit the stage. It's just like, it absolutely blows my mind. I'll be honest, this might be like the most intense track of the album. In my opinion, it's truly masterful. Like I would put Darkness up there with something like Stan in terms of its significance and just absolute dopeness. Moving on, you get Leaving Heaven, which is interesting because it's kind of about like the death of his dad, and looking at his career and all the way that these things are intertwined, and he really just addresses the topic of his father passing in a public and direct way, which I understand it to be the first time he has addressed it in public. It's really emotional, it's really intense, and I like it. And it's a cool way to like almost migrate it into a different direction, away from the darkness, but also just to show some like almost like a reasoning, like moving forward we're going to look into how somebody could maybe like get to a place in darkness, such as having a shitty father who bounces out. And then we just get a little break with I mean, I can't fit this into the story. It's just a fire song. It's just amazing. Q-Tip's hook is just amazing. Like, I can't get it out of my head. Everybody smashes it. Like, Black Thought just raps his fucking ass off. It's really dope. Amazing song. Like, basically this whole album is just amazing song after amazing song. And what's really truly great about it is like you're halfway through at this point and you're like, wow, and then you realize all that's left to come, and it just doesn't disappoint. But yeah, after where Eminem like absolutely rips the chord, like his verse, it's just truly great. He comes in real hard. We move into like literally the sound of a kid getting beat from a stepdad in the stepdad intro, moving into a really powerful track where Eminem just kind of recounts his shitty stepdad like beating on his mom and whatnot, hitting him. Or maybe it's not literally him or whatever, but I believe he's just kind of like trying to convey and put yourself in this place, looking, if you kids grow up with this kind of father, maybe this is kind of like how they turn into the kind of person who would go shoot up some shit in the darkness, especially if they're dealing with stuff like mental illness or addictions and whatnot. Just kind of showing maybe this is some of the root cause of it. And then it just kind of ends with him killing his stepdad and whatnot. It's cool in terms of like power, and just again, it's just every song is completely different than the last one. It's truly insane, like just how it goes through these heavy range of emotions as we head into Marsh, which gets a little sillier. I mean, I'll be honest, this one I just felt like it was cool wordplay, like almost like he's coming back in, reintroducing himself, feeling really great about just the overall sound of it. I guess I have less to say. I would argue that Marsh, Never Love Again, it's kind of a little slump. Maybe it just didn't stick as much with me, but we are talking about, like, as I'm listening to these tracks each time, even like the 10th time, you're still catching new bars, new expressions, new things. It's really awesome. Like, I can't really convey that well enough. Anyway, moves into Never Love Again, which conceptually looks at the idea of this broken relationship with drugs, almost like a breakup track of sorts, but like almost showing the toxicity of it, but feeling like addicted to it. And it just explores the convoluted nature of broken relationships, but again, it's clearly about his addiction. And I think it's fascinating that Eminem was able to, on this project, drop a bunch of new girl tracks, we'll call them, because of the way he approached them. And I didn't find any of them cheesy or tacky or annoying. They were just all powerful. Then you get Little Engine, where it's like Em and Dre back in the lab ripping it up, and it's just fun, high energy, a great break from the darker tones, and it really just feels like this intensity of Eminem smashing back through it. It's got one of the greatest hooks, and it's just one of the songs I would recommend if you want to have like a high energy, quick little thing, as opposed to some of the more intense emotions that you'll get earlier on the project. Lock It Up with Anderson .Paak is just a weird vibey track that just like entrances you. Like, Anderson just sounds amazing on it, and I can't describe it better than that. A vibey track that flows into Farewell, which just has this kind of bouncy, great beat from, I can't remember what it's sampling, but it just has this enthralling nature to it, as Eminem kind of spits out again like this last like love letter to his addiction, as he kind of recognizes that at the end of the day he has to tell himself a bunch of lies to make it through the situation, to make it through the day. And just the way that, again, it sounds like unlike any other Eminem song I've ever heard, and the way he just bounces off the beat and just kind of enthralls you with that almost more melodic kind of flow that he hits it just fits perfectly. It's truly one of my favorite tracks. I would absolutely put it in like my top 3. Then you get No Regrets, which is kind of a great reflective track. I'll be honest, at this point I've listened to it a little bit less, but like, it just shows him, kind of gives a sense of finality, and it does have a bit more of that pop edge to it, but I still think it works because this album's not saturated in it, and therefore it fits. It's nice, it's calm, it moves you along down to what I think is one of the best tracks on this project. Again, it's hard to pick it. I would put this maybe in 4th. It would be I Will, where it's basically a Slaughterhouse track minus Joe Budden. The beat is just killer. It just brings me back to like this old school Eminem, Slim Shady on the mic, murder that shit type feel. And I feel like ending it on that note, giving like the fans, almost like the lyrical old school people, something so like tailored to them in such a great way to end the project. Like you go through this whole emotional experience, exploring a lot of things that may have culminated to lead Eminem on his journey to where he is, ending with like the return of Slim Shady slaying shit. Then you get this Alfred outro, which kind of ends in this dark way, kind of, implying if you've been murdered, good shit. If not, you missed the point, kind of thing. And it ends. And I'm just going to state that this album is truly a great experience. I couldn't recommend it enough. I've been telling people nonstop to go bump it. And yeah, let me know what you think about it. If you enjoyed the project, let me know what you think about this format. I'll get better at this more concise, flowy thing here. It's not really about notes. I'm just going to tell you about how I feel about the project over time. Gets better. That's what happens here. I'm probably going to pop these off on the main channel, but since I already dropped 3 videos there, I figured for now we'll put this one here. If y'all like it though, let me know you like it by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Hit up the comments. Tell me that this shorter format is more interesting to you, and I'm still going to do the long podcast, but like, end of the day, if y'all want me to review it like this, what am I supposed to do? This is what y'all want. This is why y'all are here. I'll cave. I'll play ball a little bit. I'll be like receptive. So yeah, let me know what you think. Again, special thanks to the patrons. This is Milk MC, Chris Pratt, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, Cooney Sparks, Scribble. They're real dope. Support what we do. Tell us what albums they want to review. Help us upgrade a little bit. Looking forward to seeing y'all there. If you want us to do the deep album reviews, you want us to do short videos, whatever, we'll figure it out up on the Patreon. Anyway, on that note, that's the end of this one. I make music. You can check it out over on Spotify. Holden Stephan Roy, The Alternative Grind. Take care, everyone. Peace.